This afternoon, the Bowdoin College Polar Bears men's soccer program opens up their 2019 home campaign against league foe Middlebury College, and we have it for you here on NSN. With producer and camera operator Rory Eckert, my name is Brian Roach. Welcome into Bowdoin Soccer here on the Northeast Sports Network. The Polar Bears come into play into their 2019 home opener, 2-1-0 on the year, 0-1 in the league. They did win their last time out against Husson. We'll get into that in just a second. But the Middlebury College Panthers, in their third match of the season, 1-0-1. 0-1 in the NESCAC. They tied league foe Wesleyan last time out, and we'll start with the Polar Bears. Again, 2-1-0 on the year, only one league contest, a 4-1 victory on Tuesday at Husson against the in-state non-conference opponent. Their only league contest, a 3-0 defeat at the hands of Amherst that came last Saturday. And then they opened up the season going in reverse, of course, here. A 3-0 victory at the University of New England. And this is a Bowdoin program coming into today's home opener. Fairly younger roster, but pretty balanced. 11 sophomores, the largest number out of the group. 7 seniors, 6 juniors, 11 sophomores, 7 first years for Coach Scott Rusinski. Of course, last year a 9-5-2 campaign. Their season ended in the quarterfinals against Amherst, who they've played in their only league contest this season. And if you look at the recent history between these two teams, well, fairly even. 2-1 in the last 5. Bowdoin with a 1-0 victory a year ago, and a Polar Bears team that has made 18 NESCAC appearances, or tournament appearances, including last year's, and 8 NCAA appearances. Of course, the 2014 and 2015 NESCAC men's soccer champions. Drake Bird comes into the contest today, the junior from Simpsonsville, South Carolina, with a 306 line to lead the Polar Bears in scoring. One of those goals, of course, came as a penalty kick and a game-winning goal for Bird, the junior. Behind him, Max McPherson and Matt Ewick, each with a goal on the year, along with Brian Bay coming into the contest today. And it will be Chris Kingston, the sophomore, getting the start in net today. Kingston will be making his 4th start with a 2-1-0 record, a 139 goals against average, save percentage of 800 in 259 minutes and 39 seconds, 16 saves in total for the sophomore Kingston. Turning our attention to the Middlebury College Panthers, of course coached by Alex Elias, class of 2008. Middlebury last Saturday a 0-0 tie at Wesleyan and a 2-0 victory at Norwich back on the 3rd. And this is a team that has not yielded a goal yet this season, but they have only scored twice. Drew Goulart with one, along with Ben Potter, both of them getting the start here today as the two teams make their way out onto the pitch, as we'll have our introductions and, of course, the national anthem coming at you in just a little bit. And, of course, for Middlebury, 3-time NESCAC champions, 2000, 2007, and 2010. Of course, they went all the way in 2007, the NCAA national champions. But looking a little recently, last year, a 10-4-3 record. They made their 2nd straight NCAA tournament appearance. And last year bounced in the quarterfinals, but a 2nd place finish in 2017. It's going to be Ryan Grady getting the start in net. The first year is going to be making his 3rd start of the season, 1-0 record. A goals against average of 0, of course. This is a Middlebury team that has not given up a goal yet this year. 3 saves in 158 minutes and 50 seconds of play. Cloudy day here in Brunswick. Rain spitting a little bit, but shouldn't interrupt us too much. Wind is picking up a little bit, so Should be an interesting home opener for the Polar Bears. Well, starting lineups are already underway. Let's take it down the field level. We'll have that and the national anthem for you, and then after that, we'll have our contest, Middlebury and Bowdoin, the home opener for the Polar Bears. This is Bowdoin Men's Soccer on NSN. And just about moments away again for the home opener for the Bowdoin College Polar Bears here in 2019. It's Bowdoin Soccer on the Northeast Sports Network with producer and camera operator Rory Eckert. My name is Brian Roach. In case you could not hear the starting lineups, let's start first with the Middlebury College Panthers going in numerical order. It'll be the captain, Aiden Robinson, in back. Davis Uday joins him as well. Drew Goulart up at forward. Brendan Barry joins him there as well with Ben Potter. Liam Sloan in the midfield. Michael McFarlane in back. Henry Wilhelm in the midfield. Jack Spiridellis in back. Rafi Barzmanian in the midfield. And, of course, Ryan Grady is the keeper here today. And, of course, the Middlebury College Panthers in their road blues here this afternoon. The Bowdoin College Polar Bears in their home whites. It will be Dylan Reed in back. Alex Chabin in the midfield. Brian Bay joins him there. Harry Cooper in the midfield. Drake Bird as well. The captain, Justin Miller, in back. Hayden Weatherall in back as well. Jack Seelig, the back, also gets the start. Jason Oliver in the midfield. Julian Wantarena in the midfield the first year, and then it is Chris Kingston in cage. As we mentioned, the pregame, Kingston 2-1-0 on the year, while Grady on the Middlebury side 1-0. Alex Elias, the head coach for the Middlebury College Panthers. Greg Conrad, Noah Gross-Wolnier, and Scott McLaughlin, the assistants. It's Scott Rusinski in his 7th year for the Polar Bears. Peter Mills, his assistant. Per Henriksen, the team volunteer. And Nicole Spencer, the athletic trainer. So the Polar Bears will get the first half going by traveling left to right here this afternoon. The Panthers right to left. The keeper and Grady for Middlebury wearing the red today, and the neon yellow is Kingston for the Polar Bears. Of course, these early season matchups, wins at a premium, and you can say it for any sport in the NESCAC, ultra competitive, and you want to get that advantage when you can. Right now, Middlebury with 1 league point. Bowdoin does not have one yet in this early season, but we are underway, and quickly the ball over the touchline, and the Panthers will get the advantage, and they will get the throw in here. Working is Potter. Trying to find space. They'll reset. Lofted ahead. Polar Bears trying to gain the positioning here. It's Oliver, one of the captains for Bowdoin. Nice little flick on over, but Wantarea could not connect there with Miller. Uday will give that one up to Cooper. Feels the pressure up ahead. But quickly booted away by Grady. As you can see, the wind playing a little bit of a factor. A generally cloudy day here in Brunswick. Picking up. Far side there is Seelig. Ooh, looking to move around there. Bay couldn't quite get free. Panthers will try to generate an attack here. It's Goulart up ahead on the run, trying to pick up Barry, but it will roll right in front of Kingston. Kingston, the sophomore from Winchester, Mass. Played prep at Belmont Hill. And he'll survey the field here before he gets his kick. Polar Bears trying to control the first touch there, but fortuitous. It will land right for Cooper, and now up ahead. Pulling out to the wing, Oliver, but the deflection. So Grady will get the kick here for this Middlebury team, who's yet to play. As of course, this is Bowdoin's home opener. Middlebury yet to play a home contest this season, but that will change on Tuesday against Mount St. Mary. Of course, they have to get through the league battle here today first. Grady. Volleyed around. And perseverance pays off for the Panthers here. Goulart now will try to methodically move his way around the defender, and Oliver. Goulart still in control. Uday. Right back to Uday. But the defense and Weatherall able to disrupt. Middlebury, though, continues on. Barsmanian. And now far wing. Down into the corner. And who gets the advantage on the challenge? It will be the Polar Bears. So Middlebury showing a little bit of offensive pressure in our opening 5 minutes of the contest. Kingston. And it will settle for Barry, at least for the moment, but the Polar Bears will look to capitalize off the turnover. Bay. Trying to move his way through. There was Cooper, but too much in front of him. McFarland, the sophomore from Sudfield, Connecticut. Polar Bears trying to reverse the fortune and get the possession, but they can't connect on the pass as the captain Robinson resets to his keeper and Grady. Polar Bears will try to settle after the header. Bay. Brought down, gets it off though. Wantarena. Lightly back, Polar Bears will look to reset. Wantarena. Right on over to Miller. Miller, using some speed, gets underneath one defender. Tries to center it. Right on back, Cooper. Lost with a little bit of bend, but that one out of play. It will be Middlebury ball after the throw-in. It's intended for Brian Bay, who in 2 points on the year. Made his third start of the season. Of course, both those points have come by way of the goal. Panthers will keep it on the ground. Near the touchline, trying to avoid the pressure here. It was Oliver who settled, but flipped up ahead, trying to get there for the Polar Bears. Bird. But the Panthers. Again, Robinson. Tapped on back to Uday. They look to reset, but right into the fracas. Coming out of it is Barry. Goulart. Surveys. A little bit of space. And to contend with Miller. Of course, wet turf here. The wet turf will be something we'll be keeping an eye on with a little bit of moisture, as we are going to get the offsides there intended for Ben Potter. Potter, the game winner at Norwich. Back on the third. Chicago, Illinois native. At the Panthers will yield to the Polar Bears, and Weatherall will get the... I'll check that, it will actually be Kingston coming out for the kick. Polar Bears trying to capitalize after making the first touch. A little bit of aggressiveness on the tackle there by Miller. Moved up ahead. Oliver. Centers. Swept away. Panthers look to capitalize. Barsmanian. Trying to go the diagonal route. Middlebury still in possession here. Goulart. Now Bowdoin will look to capitalize, trying to go over the top here. But it is Uday getting there first. Wilhelm and now Goulart. Flips it up ahead, we get the whistle. And we'll get the kick for the Polar Bears. In our 9th minute, if you're just joining us here, still 0-0 contest. Both teams still feeling each other out. Haven't missed scoring opportunity yet in this one, as Kingston puts it right to the Panthers. And Barsmanian got the head on it, but Weatherall. The Polar Bears look to navigate the midfield. Middlebury not giving Bowdoin much room early on in this one. Barsmanian, but cut off there, Reed. Tackle, whistle, and we'll get the kick. So we'll be Wantarena right at the midline. And he will yield to Weatherall. Spoke too soon there, my apologies. Weatherall towards the cage, long distance. But Grady will corral, and the Panthers will get going again from the back. McFarland on a line towards the midfield, headed by the Polar Bears. Barsmanian. Up ahead, Panthers trying to stretch the field. Out of the cage, though, is Kingston. Another busy day here in Brunswick, of course. Second full weekend of NESCAC competition. Women's soccer also battling Middlebury. On the women's side, Middlebury, the defending NESCAC champions and defending national runner-ups after falling to Williams in the title game. But back to the men's game here. Goulart on over to Wilhelm. Wilhelm on the cross, keeps it low. Polar Bears dispose of it off the boot of Weatherall. Polar Bears trying to get something going here. Bird, but cannot connect with Shaban. Pocket picked quickly. Bird. But the Panthers return the favor. Resetting here in Barsmanian. Sloan, but denied there is Cooper. Able to send it towards his attacking third, but the Polar Bears will yield to the keeper and Grady. Now to play by the scoring area, and it will be a throw-in here for Bowdoin. 34-11 left to go in our first half. Trying to advance that was Cooper. Got a body, returned right to him, and that will go over the line once more. But he will get the chance to throw it back in. Bird, at least it was intended for him. Close proximity. Chabin now. But too much pressure from the Middlebury back unit. They will rule it out, and they will rule it. Middlebury's possession. Trying to navigate there. Goulart. Cooper. And now Chabin. Bird. He goes down. We get the whistle. And the Polar Bears will just quickly get going again. Race for the ball. As Uday and Oliver. Advantage Polar Bears. So Bowdoin deep in their attacking third. See what they can get going here, but pressure on the wing by the two defenders. Trying to navigate is Miller. That's out. But off a Middlebury body. Oliver with the quick throw in, looking for Bird, but getting a hit on it there. Uday, the contact, the whistle. There will be a kick for Grady. Crowd's starting to fill in nicely here in Brunswick. Of course, we mentioned the possibility of rain already in this one, but I think we might be out of the worst of it, which I'm sure everyone here is pretty happy about, including those on the field. Barsmanian. And a sliding effort there from Wilhelm to try to keep the possession. But it will be Miller with the throw in here. Bird with three around him. Tries to win out, but Middlebury, numbers in their favor. Up ahead, trying to connect with Potter. Races on, but the defender will get there in the person of Dylan Reed. Will be a throw in though, Middlebury. Deep in their attacking third. Goulart patiently on the cross, looking for the header there. But the Polar Bears able, at least for the moment, to calm things down. Still volleyed up and out. But Middlebury will be the beneficiary of the throw-in. We'll see what Goulart does here. There's wind picking up just a little bit. Throw it right into the box towards the 18. Head along there. And skied high in the air by Cooper. And the Polar Bears, will try to capitalize here. Bird. The race is on, but Bird as Davis Uday goes step for step with him. Nice idea by the Polar Bears. Shaban was also in the area, but it was Bird versus Uday. Uday with the advantage. Over and out, but a throw-in for Bowdoin in a defensive third. Bowdoin comes into play, averaging 2.33 goals per contest. They yield 1.33 per match. 7 goals total on the year, shooting at a 179 clip, averaging 13 shots per contest. Middlebury just a half shot below them, 12.5, averaging 1 goal per game. They have not given up a goal yet this year. 2 goals scored in total, a shooting percentage of .080 early on. Of course, those numbers good coming into our contest here today. Throwing into the box. Panthers looking to capitalize. This one just wide. As Potter looked for the opportunity, but I think we would have had the offsides either way based off the signal. Things starting to slowly pick up as we go on. With Kingston set for the kick. Deep in his net right now. Headed down by Sloan. Volleyed high in the air and using his head there, Spiridalis. That one out. Possession Bowdoin. Heaved on over for the throw-in. Flipped up ahead. Middlebury trying to manufacture something here. Barry trying to pull the move. Wilhelm was chasing. Polar Bears now. Sloan with the challenge. Bay trying to come away with it. Barsmanian. And now Wilhelm. Left in the center of the pitch. Bay tried to keep it in play. Couldn't quite do so. Looked like slipped a little bit, but Middlebury will try to capitalize. A slight delay for a moment here. But the Panthers ready to get us going again with 27:47 remaining in our first half of play. Back and forth so far in this one. And we'll get the whistle. There's a little bit of physicality there between Sloan and Juan Terrena on the hard tackle and challenge, and we'll get a card. And it will be the first year Juan Terrena booked. So after the card, the free kick for McFarland and the Panthers. Into the box, but the Polar Bears with the initial advantage as Barsmanian sent it back towards, but the whistle and the quick change in possession. Miller patiently. Up ahead, tries to keep it low. Little bit of contact there between Robinson and Drake Bird for the Polar Bears, but it will be advantage Bowdoin, after the foul, and sent right on over to Monterena. Bay will look to play on the through ball. Tries to get the momentum. Two defenders there. Over the line. Bay. Hard and low up ahead. Trying to get something going here. A little bit of contact. We'll play on. Looked like they were trying to hit Shaban down there, but either way. Middlebury now will look to manufacture an opportunity out of transition. Robinson. Cut off there. Cooper. But can't navigate Wilhelm. On a line up ahead. Reed gets ahead on it. But Middlebury trying to keep the momentum in their favor. Barry, but out of the net to play it will be Kingston. A little over 20 minutes into our match, still a 0-0 affair between Bowdoin and Middlebury. NESCAC contest, Bowdoin home opener. It was a 1-0 Bowdoin victory a season ago. 2-2-1 in their last 5. No offense but a yellow card on Julian Monterena just a few moments ago after coming together on a hard challenge with Liam Sloan. Grady, the first year. That one will deflect after the keeper's kick. Although it will be Middlebury's possession. Feeling the pressure, Goulart. And it will be a Bowdoin throw-in. Although a height mismatch, nearly won by Jabin on the header. Here's Cooper trying to get out of the fracas in the midfield. Middlebury after the turnover. Goulart. And now the Polar Bears. They'll reset. Right in front of the boot of Miller, but there is Uday to disrupt. Uday. Right up ahead, but Potter was closest in the area, no one home, and Kingston gets us going again. Reed. Bay sends that up ahead. With speed, Bird chases after. He loses his footing. He'll get the whistle. That's a few times today we've seen the Polar Bears offense, or Polar Bears attack, try to stretch on the counter. Grady with the boot. As it rolls over. Advantage Middlebury. This could set up nicely for the Panthers here. Goulart. Trying to get underneath the defender, Potter. But the Polar Bears will force that one out. And scoreless we remain. We'll get a couple substitutions here. We'll get you a little more clarity on that. We can tell you Chabin has gone off for the Polar Bears. And an immediate whistle after that one was put back into play after the challenge. Polar Bears will get the advantage. Weatherall towards the 18. Headed along there by the back unit of the Panthers. Bay trying to keep it alive. Bay looking to dummy around. Bay forced in the corner, still in control. Bay trying to come out of it. But the Panthers do not relent. They'll force the turnover. Bay showing off the moves there, but with 3 defenders in his area. Middlebury will start again here with Grady. But there to pick it off, the Polar Bears, and Miller tries to go wide looking for Bird. Got the whistle on the offsides. Excuse me, my apology, that one went out. Bird. Looks like they were trying to get a little bit of a 2-man game going there between Bird and Cooper, but looking to get through. Barry left there for Goulart. On the cross. Bay will touch it up first. Far side, Panthers trying to work the possession, pressured by the line. Spirit Ellis had it, but this one booted away. We'll get the whistle. It will be a free kick for Bowdoin. Monterena, center of the pitch, Cooper. Crashing on in, Barsmanian. Up ahead, Charlie Ward fresh into the contest. Ward up ahead has Bay. Bay looking to sneak inside the box. There's Ward on the cross, headed along though by the defender in Wilhelm. Polar Bears trying to keep the pressure up here. Middlebury looking to escape. And that is what they will do, at least for the moment. Up ahead, cut off though. Miller comes together there with Uday. Bird trying to work off his defender. Here is the attack by Ward. Ward trying to get inside. Can't shake his defender. The edge of the box. And it will be a corner. Looked like, or as that one was put out by Uday, we will get the corner. And it will be Harry Cooper coming on over to take it. Cooper with an assist and a point on the year, the sophomore from Raleigh, North Carolina. Polar Bears will stack the box far side, but they'll keep this low. Right back to Cooper. Cooper on the cross. That one denied with a body in the way, and it's out of play. And we'll get another corner here, second for the Polar Bears. Again, Bowdoin will stack far side. Bird is over in the vicinity of Cooper. 2 defenders in close by the kick into the box. Far side with the head. This one held on by Grady. So the Polar Bears nearly manufacture their first score. But but they will get their third consecutive corner opportunity here with Bay taking it with 17 minutes remaining here in the first. Bay, Bird, right back to Bay. Tries to sneak it inside, but Spirdellis was there, and now Middlebury off on the counter. With speed, this one will escape over the line as like Potter was trying to connect with his teammates streaking far side. Entering our 30th minute, 0-0 contest. We just saw our closest scoring opportunity a moment ago off the corner for the Polar Bears. Far side by the post, the header denied by Grady. But an entertaining back and forth affair here so far, a little chippy too. Middlebury trying to work with speed, Barsmanian wide. Will be Kingston once more. Just under 15 minutes till we get to our halftime break. See if anyone can crack the goose egg. Flipped up ahead. Middlebury trying to get something going there as Barsmanian heads up, but now the Polar Bears off in the other direction. Booted up ahead is Brandon Reed, fresh in the contest, trying to make something happen off the bench. Goulart sees Reed up ahead. Reed with space, but the defender and Dylan Reed comes on in and disrupts that opportunity. Shots so far, 2 apiece. Polar Bears with the only shot on goal. And that was Dylan Reed, the header that nearly resulted in a strike a few moments ago off the corner. As Barsmanian nearly was able to get that to deflect off Oliver. Nice effort there. Max McPherson, one of the captains for the Polar Bears, has a goal on the season. Now Bay, far side. McPherson taps it back to Wantarena. Polar Bears resetting to their back unit. McPherson. Now Oliver trying to come across, looking for support from behind. We'll get the whistle. It's going to be a prime opportunity here for Drake Bird after the foul. 13:23 remaining. The wall up in front. The shot. Oh, the defender gets in the way and heads that out of play. That was McFarland. Bird put a nice bend on that one, but nothing doing there. Heady play from McFarland. And no pun intended there. That will set up another corner, though. The 4th for the Polar Bears. And it will be Bird. Into the box. And headed back towards the 18, but Bowdoin will look to keep the pressure up. Off the flick, trying to return it right back. Ward. Bird on the wing. Bird on the cross. The header. Middlebury gets there first.
Well done, Mike.
2 huge plays from the back line and McFarland. Grady lets this one fly. Polar Bears with the first touch, but the second touch, Goulart and Middlebury trying to manufacture something here. Oliver will sashay his defender out of the way. And that one out on Middlebury as Robinson tried to keep that one in. Looks like we'll have a couple substitutions coming into the match here. As Oliver's coming off for Bowdoin. Robinson coming off for Middlebury. Check that, my apologies. That's Uday coming off for Middlebury. 6, not 5. Goulart will come off as well. Taylor in for Uday. Houseman in for Oliver on the Bowdoin side. And the quick turnover there, as Taylor will leave it for Grady. Max Drazen in on Goulart, as it was a foul off the Polar Bears. 10:38 and counting down remaining in our first half. On a Saturday afternoon, that's a little bit of a harsh reminder that summer is over. Big boot there by Grady into the fracas. Need up ahead by McFerrin as he'll try to weave through. Little miscommunication there, looked like between him and Bay. Middlebury will look to capitalize. Houseman. At nobody home as Middlebury gets there first, despite Bird's best efforts. Potter. Wilhelm. Far side now. As they will say this one is over the line, and I believe that was Dylan Reed coming charging in for the Polar Bears. Trying to help spur that on. And this one into the bushes. Into the trees, I should say. Here is Potter, though, with speed. Potter into the box. But the offsides. Now Kingston, a little bit of a short kick there. This one out and over the touch. And the Polar Bears and Miller get to do it again. Cut off there. Heads up play by Drazen. With jockeying in the midfield, both squads as Middlebury content to reset. Bird comes charging, trying to put a challenge on the keeper. And Grady, he gets it off, keeping the pressure up is McFerrin, but Middlebury playing some keep away here. And a nice job to navigate what could have been a dangerous situation there. Wilhelm got the advantage on that head, and he'll boot it up. But right into the person of Reed, who spit it right back. Ward. Pushed out. But Middlebury able to advance it up ahead on the challenge. Let's see how they rule it here. So it will be a kick for the Panthers. Light one, albeit. Up ahead, Potter. A little bit of space. Potter pulling the moves. Potter trying to get in the box. Left there for Drazen. A reset at the midline. Robinson gets by. Potter. Barsmanian with two in front of him, but sees safety. Right back to Barsmanian on the give and go. Barsmanian on the cross, getting in the way is Charlie Ward. We'll get a whistle, though. And the foul in prime positioning for the Panthers. Matthew Braver in for Brian Bay, latest substitution on the Bowdoin side. It will be Potter. Wall set up in front of him. .537 remaining in our first half. Potter with the kick, and he can't get it through the wall. Taylor up ahead, looking to capitalize. Some space far side for Spirellis on the cross, looking to head, but we get the whistle. And it will be Bowdoin possession. Spirellis trying to set up Reed there. With the whistle, and it will be Bowdoin ball. Bird with the advantage. Bird faces the challenge. As that one will roll over the end line. Bird showing some jump there. We have a quick delay here on the pitch with 4:45 remaining here in our first. Wilhelm's going to come off. It will be Ben Powers, the first year, taking his spot. So it will be the corner after the stoppage and substitution. Bowdoin wasting no time into the box. Trying to get ahead on it was Reed. And right around the 18. Looking for the opportunity was McFerrin. And his will be ruled wide. Shots 4-3 in favor of the Polar Bears. Only one shot on goal. That goes to Dylan Reed off the header 15 minutes ago. Working our 42nd minute here. A little bit of conversation regarding the substitutions on the sideline, the coach's box. But either way, we resume. Bird trying to get around Spirellis there. It will be Middlebury's possession with 3:46. Counting on down till our halftime. Up ahead, Powers. And now Hannum fresh into the contest, but Charlie Ward off the turnover. Ward keeps that one low, and that one wide. Ward couldn't get as much on it as he wanted to. Ben Potter leading everyone in the match with 2 shots. Grady sends this one away once more. Bird trying to win it away from Barsmanian. Here is Potter. Up ahead. Looking to connect with Reed. The back unit says no, at least for now, as Potter with another opportunity to reset. That one out. Advantage Middlebury. Middlebury will escape the challenge, at least for now. Back to Barsmanian. Pressure on the corner. Barsmanian loses his footing. Here's Bird, and the Polar Bears looking to capitalize. Up ahead, trying to return to Bird was Houseman. Monterena. Might have placed that just right, and he did. The cross, headed though by the defender in Taylor. Right back into the box, but nothing that Grady can handle under 2 minutes remaining. And we'll get the immediate whistle, as it looked like things were setting up nicely for Reed. With a minute 3. Looks like we might get another substitution on the Bowdoin side, but they won't be able to execute it quite yet. Off the free kick. Out on the Panthers, and quickly down to toss this one back in is Miller. Has Houseman right back to Miller. He tries to display his patience. Gets it on back to McFerrin. As Ward tried to send it back for Bird. Nice idea for Ward, but here is Reed. Drop it to Powers. Barsmanian on a line with 17 seconds remaining in our first half. Polar Bears send 2 defenders down. It will be a Bowdoin throw-in. Justin Miller will just hold on to it here. He'll let the clock run down to 0, and after 1/2, nils across the board here between Bowdoin and Middlebury. Nothing, our score here in this one. Taking a quick look before our halftime break at the stats. Shots 5-3 in favor of the Polar Bears. Unofficially, of course, 1 shot on goal. That did belong to Dylan Reed, a header in close quarters after a corner kick. That was denied by Ryan Grady. And Grady has the only stop recorded on the day. 5 corners for the Polar Bears. 3 of them came in quick succession. None for Middlebury. 10 fouls on the Middlebury side, 4 on the Bowdoin side. They do have the 1 card that belongs to Julian Monterena, who came together with Liam Sloan on a hard challenge, but everyone came up okay after that one. But otherwise, zeros across the board, and we'll have ourselves a little under 15 minutes to break here, but When we come back, we'll take a spin around the NESCAC, let you know what else is going on in the league, and we'll get you set for the second half of play here in Brunswick and the home opener for the Bowdoin College men's soccer season. This is Bowdoin Soccer on NSN. We'll be back in just under about 13 minutes. Scoreless as we're about set to come out of our halftime break. It's the home opener for the Bowdoin College Polar Bears. They excuse me, they match up against the Middlebury College Panthers, receiving votes in the national poll. With producer and camera operator Rory Eckert, my name is Brian Roach. And before we recap that first half of action, let's take a look at what else is going on in the league here today. And right now, Bowdoin Middlebury, the only contest underway. Trinity's at Colby. That goes off at 1:30. Amherst at Hamilton. They'll begin at 1:30 as well. Bates at Connecticut College, number 18 overall in the poll. They'll start at 2. Williams at Wesleyan. They'll start at 3. And Brandeis takes on the number 1 team in the nation, Tufts, at 7 o'clock. As the Middlebury College Panthers get us back going again here. Second half underway. Scoreless contest. Only one shot on goal. That belongs to Dylan Reed of the Polar Bears. But Middlebury trying to waste no time and charging on out there is Chris Kingston to make sure that Barry didn't convert there. But we are going to get a corner. And it will be the first corner of the contest for Middlebury. If you are just joining us, Bowdoin out shooting Middlebury 5-3. Shots on goal, as we mentioned, 1-0 in favor of the Polar Bears. 5 corners for Bowdoin. This will be Middlebury's first. 4 fouls on the Bowdoin side, 10 on the Middlebury side, but a yellow card against Julian Wantarani that came back in the first half. Here's the kick, the boot towards the cage, far side, and Henry Wilhelm, as his body was going towards the ground, still trying to get the kick off there, but it will result in another corner for the Panthers. Reed, McFerrin, Bird, Miller, Weatherall, Seelig, Ward, Houseman, Braver, Wantarena. For the Polar Bears. But on the kick for the Panthers, this one behind the net. To start for Middlebury, Robinson, Uday, Goulart, Barry, Potter, McFarland, Wilhelm, Spirdelis, Barsmanian, and Drazen. Teams have switched sides here in this second half. Right to left go the Polar Bears in their home whites, black lettering and numerals. Middlebury with the dark blue road uniforms left to right. The white lettering, numeral, and trim. Popped high into the air to avoid the turnover there by the Panthers. Here is Drazen trying to capitalize. This one over the line and out, and the Polar Bears will get the throw in here. We'll try to capitalize. It's Cooper before it's booted away. Weatherall. Robinson connects. And headed as both squads continue to jockey for possession. As we say that, though, Drazen, the sophomore, trying to get things going here. Drazen pulls it out wide to the wing. Drazen on the cross. And headed down, still an opportunity in the box, the contact, and the Polar Bears will clear that to the midfield and the safety. And Middlebury with a flurry of activity there is McFarland. Tried to make it happen on the other end, though. Here's Bird. Bird tackled in the box. Let's see what the call is. And they'll say it's clean, and they'll say we will play on.
Well done, Mike.
Of course, from our position, that's happening far side with the speed, our angle. They'll want to make a determination on that one, but either way, we'll get a corner here for the Polar Bears. They'll try to capitalize as that one booted on a line, and Grady gets in front of it, but the Polar Bears will quickly reset for their 7th corner of the afternoon. Now working our 6th minute. of this second half. On the corner, into the box, and again pushing it away is Grady. And trying to capitalize right there. After the corner, the Polar Bears, but Bay goes high. That all starts with a burst of speed by Drake Bird, followed by back-to-back corners. But we remain scoreless. And after the whistle and the foul, once again it will be Hayden Weatherall. Charging on in there with Cooper. And he'll force the deflection. Cooper feeling pressure on the challenge. Off the heel by Seelig on over. Ward finds Bird. Polar Bears keeping it low. Bay tries to settle. He does. Monterena towards the 18. Drazen and the Panthers. That one was booted away by Spirdalis. Here's Bay, though. Bay trying to spin it around, but off the dummy attempt, the Panthers. On the stretch, though, Reed puts it up ahead. Trying to reset Charlie Ward. Bay. Lightly and Bird. Bird patiently trying to get underneath Bird. On the cross, looking to direct it home on the header. Second opportunity in the box, still alive. From long distance. It's McFarland getting in the way of his third as Juan Terena with a missile. And he'll set up the corner for Bay. With that scrum in the box, it was Cooper who had the opportunity before Juan Terena. Base kicks off. Polar Bears charge and headed away by the defender. And a little bit of contact. So we'll see what's ruled here. But Ryan Grady with the contact there. We will continue on. It was Weatherall with the last opportunity on the Polar Bears side, but Bowdoin bringing the pressure to start here in this second half. Cooper. Bay. Patiently, Bay looking to pull the move. Bay draws three in the corner. Can't quite work it by. Reed. Seelig. Bay keeps it in, but cut off immediately there by Wilhelm. Potter feels the pressure. Bay and Seelig don't relent. Whistle, possession. Polar Bears. So Seelig with the throw in, and it slips out of his hands. And it will be Middlebury ball. Oh, he knew it right as he felt, or you could see from our position that Seelig knew it as soon as the ball was starting to slip off his fingers. Unfortunate break for him and the Polar Bears, but the Panthers try to break some of the momentum that Bowdoin's put on early on in this first half. Still scoreless, though, if you are just joining us. Bay trying to make sure he doesn't give that one away, but Potter on the wing leaves it there for Drazen, who comes sneaking in, but sneaking that away is Dylan Reed. Up ahead, trying to keep it low, but cutting it off there, Robinson. Left there for Wilhelm. Over to Goulart. Faces the challenge. Left for Uday. And this one over the end line. Still very early on in the season here, but with their 1 point, Middlebury and a time for 5th coming into play today with Wesleyan. Bowdoin, Colby, Hamilton, Trinity, Williams do not have a point yet on the season. Bay. Rain starting to come down again here. Sloan. Contested. Booted on out by Weatherall. But it will be a Middlebury throw-in. Into the box. But the Polar Bears at the first touch, and they will look to clear this one out. Sent right back down the other direction, and before anything could happen there, Kingston quickly brings it in and gets rid of it. Seelig. Wantarena. Miller, and now tries to work it back. Barry, check that, Reed. With the opportunity, gets a piece of the defender. A ton of spin on it, though. And the opportunity there by Barsmanian goes wide. Substitution on the Bowdoin side. Off Cooper. In comes McFerrin. So McFerrin, who tallied a goal in his first contest of the season against Husson. Bay trying to keep with it. Lofted up. Wantarena. And we get the whistle and the foul. A little over 10 minutes here into our second half. Second league contest of the season for both Bowdoin and Middlebury. Both looking for league victory number 1 of the year. Bowdoin looking to score their first goal against a conference opponent, and Drake Bird might have something to say about that before this one is booted away. He also had Ward charging down with him. Here are the Panthers. It's Goulart trying to crash into the box. Leaves it there up ahead for Barry. Deflects off a defender and out. And it will be a corner. So quick work there by the Panthers to manufacture an opportunity and a corner kick. Far side, the header. Around the 18, excuse me. Brandon Reed tries to keep the possession. You always choke on your words at the worst time. But here's Reed capitalizing. Reed showing his strength. Brought down on the challenge there by Dylan Reed, no relation. And after the whistle, it will be Bowdoin ball. So as we mentioned, Bowdoin yet to score in conference play. Middlebury yet to give up a goal. And it's Wilhelm sneaking to get the first touch. Middlebury looking to capitalize. Reed, for the Polar Bears. He'll send that away. Wilhelm keeping with it. Sent towards the midfield. Spiridellis with the advantage, looking to get underneath, but both Bird and Bay in his way. Juan Terena. But that is out. Off the throw-in. Like Weatherall got a piece of that, and that will set up another kick. Another corner, excuse me, for Middlebury. Ain't starting to pick up a little bit here. Off the kick, quickly headed away by the Polar Bears. Bird was brought down. And it will be Middlebury possession. Excuse me, Bowdoin ball. Given away. McPherrin trying to crash and recover the possession. And he does. Barsmanian. And now Sloan. Barry up ahead. Races on. And Wilhelm, despite his best efforts, .26:55 remaining is this one. Sent out by Kingston and Wantarena after Middlebury controlling the flow of play for it feels like the last 10 minutes or so. After the Polar Bears had a flurry of their own, Bowdoin trying to answer. Would spit back towards Barry. That one out on the Panthers. Uday gives up the possession. Polar Bears. It's booted towards safety by Wilhelm there. Couldn't quite tell who that was from our angle charging, and I believe that might have actually been Miller. Trying to keep the possession alive. But it will be Middlebury ball. Panthers with an opportunity. Now deflect out. And it will be a throw-in. Deep in the attacking third for Goulart. Off the throw. Oh, and it looked like Weatherall got the head on it there, but Middlebury. It's Goulart trying to circle around. The defender, though, will get underneath. But that one goes over the end line, and Middlebury will set up for another corner here. It will be Sloan yet again, set to take it. Three up toward the 18 for Middlebury, but we get a whistle. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the box right now. The kick. Up in the air, Wilhelm trying to keep it alive, but over the end line. Panthers with the advantage after the kick. Will one of these defenses break within the next 23 minutes and 25 seconds? We haven't seen many scoring opportunities. At our halftime break, one shot on goal, which belonged to Reed after a corner kick. And an entertaining back and forth affair if you are just tuning into this one here on NSN. Bay. But there is Sperdella sneaking in. Robinson as Middlebury looks to reset. Contested the challenge. Advantage Middlebury along the line. There's McPherron. Bowdoin trying to get it going here. Headed along Uday. Back up ahead, and we will get the whistle, we'll get the foul, and we'll get a kick here for Ward. It looks like he will yield to McPherron. So again, both sides stacked. More favor to the far side, top of the 18. Wall will be set up for the Panthers. And it will be McPherron. His strike into the box. Left there, and jumping on it is Brandon Reed. Looked like Dylan Reed. Blew a tire there, was trying to get there, but racing on back is Ian Strudwick. Sloan. Goulart. Patiently. Lofted. Flicked off the heel there by Spirdellis, up ahead. But nobody home. (20:45), 20:40 now. Left in our half. Brandon Reed. Wilhelm has a cutoff. Middlebury, though, with the pressure. Sloan. Up ahead. Trying to work through the attack. And that will land right in front for Bay. He's for the moment before Middlebury able to force the turnover. Sloan. Spirdellis on the cross. With the whistle and the offsides ruled. Well, the hardest bit of rain we've had so far here in this one. So it looks like we're Middlebury getting set to bring in two subs. Bowdoin one on their side. Next stoppage. Liam Sloan. Ooh, nifty move. Splitting the D. Reed hesitates. Tries to pull the move. We get the whistle. We'll set up the free kick. Bowdoin's going to go through with their wall here. It's Barry. What's the bend on hand? Exploding out of the pack there is Kingston. But Middlebury and Goulart. Coming together on the challenge. Polar Bears defense trying to get it out. It looked like they were trying to reset. Despite the pressure being put on by Middlebury, but we'll have those substitutions. Looks like Potter's back in. Either way, we'll try to get you all of those in a moment. We did disable our live scoring and information system due to the rain, but here is Ward. Right up to Bay. Bay with the opportunity, and out of nowhere, McFarland comes on in. Brian Bay with a golden look there, but Polar Bears will keep it up here. Bay on the cross. And it escapes the reach of Houseman. He will keep it in. One-on-one battle. Barsmanian trying to pick his pocket. Out and over. Well, the Polar Bears, the spirited run there to set up Bay. But Michael McFarland disrupting that opportunity, and we still remain 0-0, 16:45 remaining. Here comes Sloan. Pulls up, hits Wilhelm. Barsmanian. Bay. We'll try again here for the Polar Bears. Off the heel, one touch right over to him, no look. Up ahead, Strudwick. Strudwick to the box. Strudwick from the 18. Looks to send across. And that one blocked off the boot of McFerrin. And that one deposited over the touchline. Another substitution on the Middlebury side. Polar Bears will swap out some personnel as well as both Ward and Strudwick head off. Polar Bears pressured out to the edge of their attacking third, and they will lose it off the whistle. And the ball going over. So the throw in here. Quickly back into the scorer's area. That was Taylor, who lost it there, but thrown back into the box. Bird will look to clear the two defenders. He pops right back up into the box, headed away by the defender. Spit back towards the keeper and Grady. And he'll hold on to it here. In a season ago, only one goal scored between the two teams. It was Bowdoin's 1-0 victory. Monterrey tried to get the advantage for the Polar Bears. This one handed out by Barsmanian. Throw in quickly by Bowdoin. McPherron, Reed, Seelig, Bay trying to work the line. And now Bay trying to recover it from Barsmanian. Gets a little help from McPherron. Wilhelm. Taylor tried to get it up ahead, deflects off of Houseman and out. Brandon Reed loses the challenge though with Weatherall. Barsmanian trying to get it going again. Bay cuts it off, tries to advance. Wilhelm returns the favor. Hannum loses the handle. Another sub on the Bowdoin side. As Bay will come off. Matthew Braver will come in. He's now gotten in he's gotten into his third match of the season out of the 4 played, with an assist and a point on the season. We'll land in front of Kingston again. 12:38 remaining, still scoreless. Couple of in-close opportunities throughout the match for the Polar Bears. They did have the shot advantage at our halftime break, and charging there was Chabin, hoping to cut off the feed from Grady, the keeper for Middlebury. But to no avail. We've seen swings of offensive momentum back and forth in this one. Rain coming down harder and harder now. Seelig. It's Chabin. Nearly got a piece of the ball and the defender, but here's Sperdalis. Nifty heel there by Sloan. Tried to feed it up to Potter, but they can't keep the play going with the offsides ruled. Dylan Reed. Here's Brandon Reed now. Up ahead looking for Potter, puts it on. Handled by Kingston. This one's going to roll over the line here. Of course, with the elements. Apologies for the little bit of silence there, trying to get the notes protected and in order. Not much of them left. This one over the line. So it will be Spurdellis, but a substitution here with Sloan off the pitch. Hannum back on. Spurdellis with the throw-in. Potter trying to break off his defender. We got the whistle, and he will be the beneficiary of the kick. And if you missed it earlier, Middlebury is yet to give up a goal so far this year. Bowdoin is yet to score in league this year. Of course, still very early on the season. Bowdoin with only one league game played. Off the kick, crossed into the box, trying to get a head on it. There was Wilhelm, but it will go over the line. .8:25 remaining in regulation. Cut off there. Seelig. Contested, denied, second opportunity. Barsmanian tries to pick it off. Oh, they nearly had Bird set up there as Chabin looked to flick it on over to get the opportunity going. Manage Bowdoin. Again, Barsmanian, and the Panthers will give it up as it rolls over the touchline, excuse me. Reed. McPherron. Seelig. Lofts it. Chabin. Bird tries to pick it on up. Bird has to deal with Potter. They come together. The challenge, the tackle. And it will be Bowdoin ball. Most of this crowd, despite the rain, has hung in here. On the kick. Then towards the cage. A little too much mustard on that one as Grady jumps on up and picks it out of the air. Off the turnover, though. Bird leaves it. Not enough momentum to complete the through ball to Chabin. Check that. That was McPherron. But either way, in the possession of Hannum. Whistle there after the A tackle in the challenge, and trying to restart things quickly is Juan Terena, who was booked with a yellow card in the first half. They're coming together with Liam Sloan. Only card in this one. But the Polar Bears trying to mount, or trying to find some late match heroics. Into the box. Bobbling around as the defender, able to get a boot on it and pop it on up. Couldn't quite tell who that was on the Middlebury side. Would not have been shocked if it was McFarland, who's blocked 3 already today. Miller cuts it off. But it's still Bowdoin ball here. Under 5 minutes remaining in regulation. Substitution as Wilhelm will step off. Middlebury will look to capitalize. Contested, advantage Bowdoin out of the midfield. Seelig puts it up ahead, intended for Bird, can't get it there. Reed has Ward back into the contest. Ward trying to work around. Left there for Braver. Up ahead looking for Bird. Bird trying to deal with the one defender there in McFarland. They continue on. Will stay in play. Somehow out of all of that, Seelig. Reed keeps it low. Braver trying to ward off his defender. Braver. No look. Juan Terena. Cross field looking for space. Sneaky move there towards the cage, getting a hand on it. Ryan Grady, the first year. But that will set up a corner for the Polar Bears. The rain continues to fall. 3:15 remaining. Clock continues on. Off the kick. Bobbles around. Juan Terena on the bicycle. And the whistle. And that one out. Well, the Polar Bears can't capitalize off that corner. Middlebury working the 88th. Volleyed along, Brandon Reed, and now Sloan. Potter, crossfield, left there, dangerous territory. The back gets a boot on it, sends it away. McFarland able to help keep that in at least for the moment, but booted out and away as the Polar Bears look to advance. Spirdellis. And now Sloan, challenged, contested, moves it. Potter splits the D. And the Polar Bears will jump on the loose ball. Ward up ahead looking for Bird. Defense converges. Bird goes down. We play on. Into the box. Looking, turning, firing, and it deflects off a defender there on Ward's opportunity. And all the way to the line, that one was contested. It will be a throw-in. Minute 5 remaining in regulation. Of course, we'll have 2 10-minute overtimes if it gets there. Golden goal in each. Under a minute. Bird into the box. Wantarea. Back to Bird. His strike gets a piece and out. "34 seconds remaining. It will be a corner. Bird on the kick. Into the box. Reed settles. Deals with the two defenders. Out. Advantage Bowdoin. Quick throw in. Seelig. 10 seconds remaining. Seelig slips to the ground. Shields the ball, at least for the moment. Barsmanian. That will roll out of play. And that will do it for regulation. So the first of our two 10-minute overtime periods coming up without a goal to be scored in this one yet. We'll have a 10-minute break before our overtime, first of two overtime periods. And again, if you are unfamiliar, we do get two 10-minute overtimes. It is golden goal each session, so if no one scores through the first overtime period, we'll play the second. But if we do have a score in that first one, that will end the contest. But now they'll shorten things up just a little bit here, so we'll have just under a 5-minute break. So we'll step aside and do what we can to dry off here at Pickard Field in Brunswick, home opener for the Polar Bears. Rude reminder, we're back here in Maine in fall. 0-0 our score. This is Bowdoin Soccer on the Northeast Sports Network. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the first overtime period. Scoreless through 90 minutes of regulation, so the Bowdoin College Polar Bears and the Middlebury College Panthers will head to overtime. First of two 10-minute halves here from Pickard Field. It is golden goal, though, so we may only be playing a short amount of time, but with the way this one has gone, offense has been hard to come by. The defense is ruling the day so far in this one. With producer and camera operator Rory Eckert, my name is Brian Roach. This is Bowdoin Soccer on the Northeast Sports Network, and again, the home opener for the Polar Bears against the Middlebury team, who has yet to give up a goal this year, receiving votes in the national poll. The Polar Bears have not scored in a league contest so far this season. Excuse me, after that first half of play, or excuse me, at the end of our second half is what I'm trying to say. Flurry put on by the Polar Bears. Couple of scoring opportunities in close. But Ryan Grady in his back unit able to quell the rally. And now we'll get going again. Bowdoin will travel left to right here in the first overtime period in their home whites. Middlebury right to left. The whistle's blown. We're back underway. Again, it was a 1-0 victory for Bowdoin a season ago in their last 5, 2-1. Each team. Sent up ahead, intended there for Charlie Ward. The rain finally subsiding as it picked up heavily at the end of our second half. Oliver comes together there with Barry on the tackle, and the challenge will be Bowdoin ball. Sent towards the box, but Polar Bears can't get control on that one. Well, if it's not the rain, it's the wind. Elements have surely made this one interesting today. Shots 13-7 in favor of the Polar Bears. Shots on goal 6-0 in favor of Bowdoin. Getting that late half flurry. 7 Bowdoin corners, 5 Middlebury corners. 16 Middlebury fouls to Bowdoin 6, and the yellow card to Wantarea, which came back in the first half. Whistle and foul against the Polar Bears. We will get a kick here. A white and blue wall along the 18. Volleyed up and swung out there by Bay. Panthers nearly able to capitalize on that. That was Reed closest to it. Stretched up ahead. Polar Bears looking for Burr. This goes over the line. And it'll be Charlie Ward. It'll be Miller actually with the throw in. Miller. As McFerrin tried to work that back to him. On the throw-in. Panthers trying to creep closer and closer. Goulart. Oh, nice job there by Taylor to keep it in. Bay chests it down. Looks to settle. 6:57 remaining in the first of our overtime periods. And that will escape the reach of McPherson. Intended for Bay there, it looked like. McGoulart. Middlebury will reset. Ward. Handled along the line there by Spirdellis. Tries to go up ahead. Polar Bears regain. McPherson. Kept in by Oliver. Back to McPherson. Tries to return it to Oliver, but not fooling Powers and company this time. Bursmanian. And now Spirdellis. Bird. Explodes off his heel. Sent up by Oliver. In the way of the defender and Taylor. Miller. Returned right to him. Feels the pressure. Looks for Monterrey. Cut off, and here come the Panthers. Powers. Slows it down just a bit. Middlebury will get it set up. Goulart. He'll pull it out wide towards the wing. Goulart. Now towards the 18. 2 on him. 4:55 remaining in the first overtime frame. Over the end line that goes, but offsides was ruled. The kick here for Kingston. 5 minutes, or excuse me, under 5 minutes. Here's Reed. He's been champing at the bit today since coming in off the bench. Cut off there by Ward. Stretched up ahead though. Middlebury ping-ponging it here, and now they'll trying to get going again on attack as we say that. Monterrey over to Miller. Miller returns it to Monterrey. Up ahead. Lofted. Oliver tries to get around. Keeps it in. Oliver on the run. Brought down. Whistle. That will go against Middlebury. And it will be a kick set up here for Drake Bird. And an early kick, but this one's struck by Monterrey up high. And didn't quite expect to see that opportunity as quickly as we did, as one of the Polar Bears was still tying his shoes as the ball was put back into play, but Middlebury now will get us back going. Is Julian Monterrey skying that last opportunity. Here's Bird setting up Ward, but once again McFarland finding a way to interrupt. But it will be a corner, and Bay will head over to take it. Eighth corner, if my math is correct, for the Polar Bears. Bay puts it in, and that's just going to escape the reach of Ward, who was primed backdoor to put that one in. So under 2 remaining. Grady On the run, McFerrin. Sloan. And now Spirdellis. Hannum. Taylor with space. Robinson. Up ahead into the box. Under a minute remaining in overtime 1. Pocket picked here. Hannum comes together there with Miller. We get the whistle. We get the foul. Advantage Panthers. And with 31 seconds and counting. Rafi Bosmanian. Puts it into the box. Polar Bears with the touch, but they give it up initially. Can't protect it as this one's sent away by Hannum. So we get our horn. We're through the first 10, and like our first 90 minutes of regulation, still scoreless. 0-0 between Bowdoin and Middlebury. And this time it'll only be a 2-minute break. We'll keep it here with you. With producer and camera operator Rory Eckert. My name is Brian Roach. Home opener for Bowdoin men's soccer here on NSN. Shots 14-7 in favor of the Polar Bears. No shots on goal in that overtime frame, so it still remains a 6-0 Bowdoin advantage in that category. 6 saves for the first year Ryan Grady. Now Chris Kingston working the shutout has not made an official save here in this one. Corners 8-5 in favor of the Polar Bears. 17 Middlebury fouls to Bowdoin's 8. The yellow card does belong to Julian Monterena. Ben Potter leads Middlebury with 2 shots. Bay, Bird, and Monterena with 2 each. On the Bowdoin side, Bird, Reed, Cooper, Miller, and Weatherall each with a shot on goal, along with Houseman. So a few moments away from getting going. Again, it was a 1-0 Bowdoin victory a year ago. Middlebury looking to make it 3 out of a possible 4 points to start their league schedule. While Bowdoin looking for their first league points on the season, as not only some of the fans, but some of the participants in the women's contest between Bowdoin and Middlebury watching along the far right sideline. So 10 minutes to decide if we have a victor in this one. Both sides have swapped once more. Left to right go the Panthers in their blue. Right to left go the Polar Bears in their white. And we are underway. Stretched up ahead by Spirdellis, but nobody home. And taking his time here patiently. is Chris Kingston. He'll send this one off once more. Volleyed up high on the header. Middlebury trying to settle on the touch. Wantarea, though, helps to cut that off. Moves that one on to Miller. Up ahead. Polar Bears trying to generate an attack here. Here's Ward. And back in the other direction it does go. As we've seen in much of today's contest, a battle in the midfield. But a whistle and a foul against the Polar Bears will set up the kick. As the rain starts to fall again. On the far side, Middlebury stacking the box. This one just wide of Chris Kingston. So Middlebury working the opportunity off the free kick there. And Kingston saw him, and saw it just skitter wide of him, which keeps the contest ongoing here. Second overtime frame. Mersmanian felt the pressure from Bird, got rid of it. Svirdelis taken away though here. Houseman looking to get through, whistle. Advantage Polar Bears. And it will be McPheron set up for the kick. They attack the box, the header. And this one's going to land top of the net. That one just hanging up there. It looked like it was either Ward or Weatherall who got the piece of it. Corner here. Bird will get it started. Loaded box. The header wide. Wantarena. But nothing doing for him. Volleyed Polar Bears look to settle. Into the contest, Nate Kelsey. First time we've called his name. This one escapes. Svirdelis. Polar Bears, though, work the turnover. That's Houseman. Houseman keeping it alive, at least for the moment, but Michael McFarland, who's a difference maker on the back line here today, helps get in the way of that one, but a fortuitous whistle for the Polar Bears is McPherson. Initiated by sending that up ahead. Reed, though, pressured back beyond the midline. Kelsey. Settled Ward. Wantarea. Here's Miller. Attacking from the wing here. Trying to initiate out is Braver. Contested. And off the challenge. Wantarea. Up ahead on the stretch. And on the counter. Jacob Laranche. Puts it towards on the line. A bullet. And it is Kingston bringing it in. .418 remaining. It's now Middlebury. So we've seen all contest. Sustained pressure put on by each side, but the pendulum has swung back and forth in this one, despite Bowdoin with the 6-0 shot on goal advantage. Over the line and out. It is advantage Middlebury, to the chagrin of the Bowdoin bench. It's Brandon Reed again trying to make something happen. Gets a little support from behind, but booted from that back line by Weatherall. Bird trying to win that one out. 2 Panthers in the area. Powers up ahead looking for Reed, but Reed on the Polar Bears side of things heads that along. It continues to creep closer and closer, further down. The Middlebury attacking third. The Ranch centers. Polar Bears there to cut it off for the moment. The Ranch again on the cross, looking to settle, out of position, but able to recover is Kingston. .240 remaining. Second of our 2 golden goal 10-minute overtime periods. And again, Bowdoin hasn't scored against the league opponent early on this year. Middlebury hasn't given up a goal at all. And those trends, if nothing changes in the next 2 minutes and 15 seconds, will prove to be true. And we saw a late push from the Polar Bears at the end of that second half of regulation. We'll see if anyone can manufacture a push here in the final 2 minutes. Rain been on and off. Wind has been bothersome. But for Reed and company, they'll try to finish off the job here. Reed looking to get underneath. He's brought down in the box. And it will be a corner. Seven in the box for Middlebury. Bent in. Monterey got a head on it first. Bird trying to come away, and the whistle. Bird not too pleased about that, but it's still Bowdoin ball. Far side. Spot of danger, but it will still be Bowdoin ball. 36 seconds remaining in the second overtime frame. And it will be a kick. Far side 18. A gaggle of participants on both sides. This one with some mustard put in. As the Panthers will try to boot this one away. Race is on. It's out. 9 seconds left. Throwing for the Polar Bears. Miller. He will set up. 4 seconds left. Ward doesn't quite have the look, and that is going to do it. Each team's going to come away with a point here today. 0-0 our final after 110 minutes of play here in Brunswick. And for the Polar Bears, they had their share of opportunities. At pretty back and forth affair in terms of possession, but the Polar Bears with several opportunities on net, unable to solve first-year keeper Ryan Grady. And that's how this one will end. We'll give you a quick look at the stats in just a second here, but Bowdoin now 2-1-1 to start the season, 0-1-1 in the league. They record their first point here today. Middlebury 1-0-2, 0-0-2, 2 points now in the NESCAC to start off this 2019 campaign. So unofficially, Bowdoin 15-9 with the advantage in shots, 6-2. Their advantage in shots on goal, 6 saves. Again, for the first year in Grady, 2 for Chris Kingston. And those 2 didn't come until the overtime period. 9 corners for Bowdoin, 5 for Middlebury. 20 Middlebury fouls to Bowdoin's 10. The yellow card belonging to Wantarea, which came back in the first half of play. So up next for Middlebury, their home opener, Mount St. Mary. 4 o'clock start. Head on over to the Middlebury Athletics website to figure out how you can follow that one. Meanwhile, the Polar Bears will be traveling to Bates on Wednesday, an 8 p.m. start. You can catch that one on NSN through Bates's NSN portal, or just go to the Bates Athletic website and they'll have the contest for you. But that's going to do it from a rainy Pickard Field here in Brunswick. Our producer and camera operator, Rory Eckert. My name is Brian Roach. Final score for the final time, 0-0, Bowdoin and Middlebury in the Bowdoin home opener. This has been a presentation of the Northeast Sports Network. We hope you have a great rest of your Saturday and a great rest of your weekend.